Yes, people, what is going on? Welcome back to another one. So, this, what I want to speak about today, is a little bit different, and it's something that that I've kind of been a bit 50-50 about, and now I've kind of it's hard to explain, but I've been 50-50 about it, and now I kind of want to kind of do a little discussion, do a little bit of a talk about it. So the question of the topic is AI taking over music production? So as you all know, AI is becoming quite a powerful thing in a lot of different ways. Like, you can use AI for a lot of things. You can, like, AI can literally make like album covers for tracks. AI can just literally make, like, you can tell like an AI bot to like write reggae lyrics, and it will write reggae lyrics. You can tell it to write a meaningful rap, and it will write a meaningful rap, and you will literally get lyrics. You can even go as far as to make, say, like a voice that sounds like Eminem sing something completely different, which is just mind blowing. And AI has kind of not really been something that I've really been interested in, because I've kind of felt like AI can be like quite a bad thing, and like it can do all this like clever stuff, but then it's kind of like stopping us from doing kind of what we do. So kind of like, picture it like when we got self-service checkouts in supermarkets. So everybody, they would be behind the counters, and everybody, loads of people would have jobs, and people would serve people. And then these kind of like robotic looking machines would come in where you could scan your own shopping. And that was kind of like, well, you don't need to go to the checkout. No one needs to stand behind the checkout, because there's a checkout that will do it where you can do it yourself. Um, and now we're kind of getting the same within music production. So you can tell like Pacific AIs to write piano chords, and they'll write piano chords for you. And then you can tell it to write sort of like a catchy bass line, and AI will write a catchy bass line. And literally, it's just crazy. And I've not really been completely honest with you. I've not really been a big fan of it, because I'm a big believer in, like, when it comes to like music production, and kind of like getting well stuck in, and like having to go and doing it yourself kind of thing, and kind of not really, in the kind of like, let AI kind of do it for you. um I like to write my own bass lines, for example, or like if I'm remixing a track, I like to work out the bass line for it myself. However, I was watching a video last week, and this guy was doing like a music production video, and he used a website called Audi.me, and the website absolutely blew me away that I had to try it myself, like, because I thought, this is insane, like, this cannot be true, like, this cannot work surely. And essentially, this website called Audi.me. So you go onto the website, and there's a little YouTube search bar on the website, or there's an upload feature, or there's a record feature. So essentially, you can either search a song into the like YouTube search bar on the website, or you can drag and drop your own song, and you can pick, and this is no word of a lie, you can pick an AI generated singer. So you can pick a vocalist from a range of different vocalists on the website, and they've got like descriptions of like their names and like what they sing. So there's like someone on there called Tess, and she sings like house music and pop songs and like club songs. And then essentially you can assign that vocalist to the track, and what will happen is she will re-sing that track. So she will re-sing that track from YouTube that you pasted, that you've typed into the little search bar on the website, and it will rip the stems, like it will rip the vocal of the track, and then essentially she re-sings it, and then you get an a cappella of like what she's re-sung. So I thought this is crazy. Like, this can't work. Surely, like, it can't work properly. And I gave it a little test for myself, and I was correct. It doesn't work like properly. It doesn't work like completely correct. But like the thing that blew me away was the fact that it was about 97% right. In like depending what kind of track and what kind of vocals you are sort of like sending to the website to generate into vocals. So if you've got, you know, if you put a clean just a cappella in there anyway and got somebody to re-sing it, they'd probably re-sing it perfectly. You know, if you're putting in, say, like a drum and bass track and you're trying to get someone to re-sing the vocals out of it, they might not pick up every single word, but they'll get it close depending on like the quality of the track and sort of how the track is. So obviously I tried it for myself, and one tune that I've always wanted to do a remix of is Dougal and Gamma featuring Jenna, Lose Me Forever. It was one of my all-time favourite Dougal and Gamma tracks, and as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, if you know, if you've sort of looked into kind of remixing hardcore tracks and clubland tracks, you know, getting a lot of the vocals is not always an easy thing to do. There isn't a cappellas online for a lot of Dougal and Gamma tracks, so you know, very hard to get vocals. So I thought I'll see if one of these AI vocals could like re-sing the vocal, and how sort of like how well they'd be able to re-sing the vocal. And it blew me away at how accurate it actually got it. Like, there was a couple of words that just sound a real tiny bit weird, but when you put it like all together into a track, you don't notice it really that much. And like, it just blows me away that like that was a completely different person singing it originally, and it's been stripped out, and then this AI vocalist is now re-singing it, and it blew me away. So I did that, and the website blew me away so much that I subscribed to the website for like, you pay like something, it's something like $12 a month, so it comes to like £9 something, like in English money, and you get an hour a month of like time that you can like not time, like you get an hour's worth of, they call it conversation. So essentially you can convert up to an hour's worth of music into vocals, and then that's it until the next month, and then they re top it back up again, and you get another basically you get another hour's worth of music that you can convert. So every time you put a track in, if the track's like 6 minutes, it knocks obviously like 6 minutes off the time that you know the length of time that you can convert audio up to. So it was just amazingly crazy how it works. And I've now gone and made like a full-on bounce track, like using an AI vocal, which just blows me away. And this was kind of why I wanted to kind of do this stream, because I just thought this is just absolutely crazy. And I will be doing a proper stream on this at some point when I can stream audio. At the moment, I can't stream audio because I've broken a wire. And to do like DJ streams, I've got to do this like really sort of awkward way that is just not really ideal, but it's the only way I can do it due to that snapped wire I was telling you about. But once I get that all sorted, I'm going to do a proper stream and show you the website, because it really is mind-blowing that I literally took a track, made a completely different vocalist re-sing it without having to actually physically pay a vocalist to go into a studio and re-sing a cover of the track. You know, and I literally got the vocals like within like literally a couple of minutes at the most, and put it into a track, and it, like I say, it's just a mind-blowing, it's a mind-blowing thing that it has actually worked, and you know, you can actually turn that this has actually been turned into a track. So half the time you spend more time at the machine trying to scan the item. Yeah, if you really rely on AI to come up with chords and whatnot, then is it really your song? Well, this is the thing. I mean, when it comes to chords and stuff, like, if you're telling an AI, like, you know, make me something in an A chord, like, you are kind of essentially still like, it is still essentially yours, because, you know, you can make your own song in an A chord, but it's just essentially you're like just getting like a template. You're just getting a template essentially, of like chords that are already there. You know, so you're not physically making the chord yourself, but you know, it's a really tough one, because if you say like, because there's people like in the bounce scene and people in other scenes who go to like ghost producers, so they'll like pay somebody in a studio and they'll like help them build a track, or they'll build a track for them. And like, as much as like I don't disagree with it, but I don't agree with it at the same time. Now, personally, like, anybody that does get their tracks, you know, like, written for them, like, if they go to a ghost producer, like, Kenny Haynes is a good one. A lot of people go to him, and, you know, I'm not knocking his production. You know, the guy's produced for years, is an absolute legend. You know, and actually, you know, I'll admit, hand on heart, truthfully, I've actually thought, like, on quite a few occasions, like, I've been tempted to go to him, like, but like, if I was ever to go to him, like, I'd physically go to him, like, not just sit over a webcam, and I'd want to kind of like sit there and make it with him, and kind of like say, look, I've already got a little bit of knowledge of production. Let's kind of more do something together, rather than you just making me something because I don't have a clue what I'm doing, kind of thing. Because I kind of think, like, you know, like, there's certain people, like, you know, who have, like, say they've gone to him and they've got, like, I don't know, say they've got a good 20-30 tracks that have been released on Bounce Heaven. And like, to me, if that was me, and then I turned up at a gig and I was playing one of them tracks, like, and putting that face on, you know, this is my banger, I'm playing it in a club. But to me, deep down, it'd be always like in the back of my mind, or I'd always know deep down that it wasn't really me that made it. And that is kind of what, to me, that is kind of what puts me off. Like, because it's the fact of knowing that I haven't really made it. It's, you know, it's been made. We're back now. I don't know what happened there. It was like, for some reason, we're struggling to connect. So yeah, so for me, I'd know deep down that I haven't made the track, and that kind of, in a way, what puts me off. And like I say, no disrespect to people that go to them, and for people who are really just starting out with like production and stuff, like, you going and sitting with him and learning stuff is, you know, like, I couldn't agree with that more. It's just, personally for me, I took that route of learning at home by myself, because that was just, for, you know, for whatever reason, I at the time I didn't know that you could go to him. You know, when I started producing, I wasn't producing bounce, I was making hardcore, and just bits of anything really that didn't really matter. I was just playing around with the software and thinking I'm making a banger, and I wasn't making a banger. It was absolutely shocking. And even now, I'm nowhere near like at a professional level, but you know, you can tell like a hell of a lot where I've improved, which is a good thing. But you know, I just went down the route of watch YouTube videos, practice at home yourself, you know, spend hours making remixes and bootlegs and original tracks that sound absolutely shocking, putting stuff out that people just don't stream and download because it's absolutely terrible, and then, you know, getting to that point of getting your first track signed. And you know, the buzzing thing about that for me is like when I got signed to like sort of like Excite Digital, and when stuff went out on Layman Productions, it was knowing myself that I've done it. Like, there've been tracks that I've made, and that like I've not been sat in a studio where someone else has made it for me. So I've got to that level of, you know, that track's been good enough to go on to Excite through doing it myself. And for me, like I say again, no disrespect to people that go to like ghost producers, but you know, I just feel like I feel more like I've achieved something because I've sat there and kind of put the graft in myself, and it feels like really good. But I suppose going back to your question, I don't think like using something AI, like it kind of is getting it made for you in sense. Like, you know, if you're asking it to make chords and then you're asking it to make a bass to fit them chords, like that is kind of getting it to do it for you. But I don't think it like it. I think it in some sense it's different to like a ghost producer, or is it maybe like an AI ghost producer? Is that what it is? Like it's AI is just taking over. You know, like I say, for a lot of things, but like within music production, like they can write you a full track now, which is kind of like a crazy thing. So is it taking over? Is it doing? You know, a producer's not going to be needed in the future because you can just want a specific track making or remixing, and then boom, it will like literally do it for you. You know, like do a remix, do a bounce remix of Nelly Dilemma, and then boom, it whips one up for you. It would be a really like be a weird thing. And I think, you know, if it did come to that point, like I'd be very intrigued to try it out, like just to see just to see what it would do. You know, if you could, I don't know, if you could like paste a YouTube link to the original track and then tell like AI to make a drum and bass remix of this, and then kind of see sort of like what it would come up with. You know, that would be like a crazy thing, be absolutely crazy. But it's just mad, you know, how AI has become so powerful in such a short space of time, and how that it's not even at its best yet. And you know, it's going to get even more powerful, and AI is going to improve. It's going to get bigger, it's going to get better. But is it better? And that is, you know, it's an unanswered question. It really is. It's a crazy unanswered question. Really is. Boom. So there we go. Love your MCs. Thank you. Big ups. Hope you're well. Jeez. Oh, 10 years ago, I was going to say. Do I do lives on TikTok? I haven't done for a long time. I was doing them at one. I was doing them for a little bit, and then I just kind of like, I just got a little bit bored of them, to be honest. Like, it wasn't really. what I wanted, if that makes sense. Like, for me, like, everybody on there was just too. There was a lot of just like spam comments and like fake comments and you know, like I wanted to go live on TikTok and have a chat with people, and like that could like that pardon that could never happen because people were constantly just asking for like they were asking daft questions all the time, and they were just wanting me to spit lyrics all the time, and then they were just leaving stupid comments that didn't even make sense, and they were just spamming, and it was just doing my head in. Like, you know, I was hitting some decent numbers in viewers, but you know, what's it all for? Like, if it's not genuine and half of it's just spam, you know, I'm not about, I'm not about all that. I'm not about being fake just for the sake of, oh look, I hit so many, you know, on my live stream. Whereas I'd rather do something like an Instagram live and say only have 5 viewers, but the 5 viewers are like genuine people that aren't just asking stupid things or spamming or, you know, just you know, trying to get me to act daft on the camera kind of thing. You know, that was kind of more my thing. But because, like I say, because I blew up with the reels, it's, you know, it's kind of an obvious thing because them reels and you know, and they attract that specific audience of like young teenagers and sort of like mid to late teenagers who don't want to you know, come into a live and kind of just talk about serious things, you know. They just want to come on lives and watch rap battles and see people rock bars and shout people out and have beef and banter with people, and you know, when they don't get that, they just start spamming and, you know, stupid questions. Like, I could for example, like go live DJing on TikTok, and it would get nowhere near as many views as, say, like I went live MCing, because you know it doesn't interest people, and that was kind of the really kind of like annoying thing when I sort of tried to transition, sort of, you know, cut down and sort of step away from MCing a little bit and kind of focus a bit more on DJing. But you know, people didn't like that, and when, like, on Instagram, when I started, you know, posting DJ stuff as opposed to MCing stuff, they, you know, they weren't interested. So I'd post a flyer for a booking, and you know, it'd get like, I don't know, say like five likes. Then I'd post a video of me like MCing and spitting bars, and you know, it'd hit like over 500 views, and it'd get like, you know, maybe 300 likes or something like that, and people would be sharing and commenting, you know, yes lad, yes noble, yes this is class. And then, you know, like I say, you post a flyer and you maybe get between 1 and 5 likes, and no one will comment, because you know, you got to understand that age group as well, that you know, they don't go out to clubs, they don't go raving, so it doesn't really appeal to them. You know, me announcing a booking when they're not over the age of 18, I suppose, when, you know, they're just little teenagers that have found me MCing online. You know, it's not really, they're not going to come, obviously, in that sort of thing. So, love you, MC. So, yeah. Transitioned, what the hell is that? Oh, right. I need you. Yes, big ups. Hey, for some reason it buffered again. What is that? Random USB stick. Ooh. Ooh. We are blazing. Jeez. The fastest way to claim a woman. Or to calm a woman down when she's angry. Do you know what? I just read that post then. Like, what's the fastest way to calm a woman down when she is angry? I don't even know if there is a solution to it, because, like, when I used to live with my mum, and, like, if ever we had, like, some arguments, like, and she got angry, trying to calm her down, like, you'd have more chance of getting blood out of a stone. Like, you know, if you caught her in a bad mood and you just ended up having an argument about something, like, you know, like, God help it. Like, literally, God help it. Like, that is the only way I can describe it. God help it. Like, it was awful. Like, sometimes she'd get proper angry. Whereas I know I could get angry as well. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, the only thing what I used to do is I used to storm out and go for a walk around the block, because I thought, like, you know, like, because, you know, unless I didn't, sometimes I didn't even see a way of, like, how we was going to sort this, like, until one of us kind of, like, stepped away, like, to calm down. Like, so if I went out for a walk, like, obviously I wouldn't be there where she was, so, like, we wouldn't be arguing, so it'd give me a chance to calm down. Because sometimes, like, we just both would be adamant that we're right, and then, like, until someone steps out of the room and calms down, like, you're just gonna keep going on at each other and pecking at each other's heads. So I used to go and, like, have a walk around the block. Used to storm and say, I'm going out, I've had enough of this, and not say I'm just gonna walk around the block and come home and apologise. But so sometimes I used to apologise, like, even if I still thought I was right, like, just for the sake of, like, you know, arguing, like, not wanting to argue, kind of thing. So I don't know. I mean, how do you calm a woman down? I'd like to know. Get a 20. Chase and Status are going to London. Yeah, oh, I'll tell you, now this has actually just popped up while I'm scrolling on Facebook. What I will say is, this idea that has been floating around Facebook has, in my opinion, it's a really good idea. So, I'm sure you've all heard of Sanctuary, like, big donk bounce brand, been going for a lot of years. You know, John Neal, sort of, Nicky B, they've all been a big part of it. Bonley, sort of, usually around the, anywhere sort of around the, sort of, like, Wigan, Blackpool, Lancaster, all that sort of area. So, like, you know, the Irish Sea, so kind of like the, kind of like, you know, like the west, is it the West Coast? Um, the northwest essentially. Anyway, cut a long story short, they've got a Sanctuary, like, versus Frequency, event. And to cut the story short, there's 2 rooms, but in the second room they're giving like an up and comer a chance to go back to back with a headliner from the main room. So, for example, I could say get booked in room 2 to play back to back with John Neal, for example, which I think is like I think it's a really cool thing. Like, it's a really good, like, especially for like up and comers, to say, look, you know, that there's nothing more like for your kind of like DJing CV, if you like, to say, look, I've gone back to back with John Neal. So I just think kind of like that is like a really cool thing. You know, absolutely. You know, I think that is like a really good thing. And same with like MCs as well. They're doing it for the MCs as well. So like you know, you can kind of have like, say like me, and then I could go back to back with MC Finchy, for example. So it's like a really cool thing, like a proper, you know, and I just think it's like a really, like, I think it's a mint idea. So obviously people have been putting their names forward, and they're just essentially gonna select, you know, they're gonna be selecting the lineup this week, essentially. So I just think it's a really good idea that you know, up and comers are getting like that chance to play on like such a good event, but at the same time to like go back to back with the headliner as well. And it's a good thing for the room too as well, because sometimes you know, I won't lie, room 2s, they can be shadowed and they can be missed, or they can not do as well, because, you know, if the main room just has something so good to offer, sometimes like the second room, just, you know, if there isn't really anything to really attract people to the second room, if it's just a few up and comers, you know, not that the up and comers are bad, but, you know, are you going to go and see DJ Dave on you know, midnight in the second room when Andy Whip is headlining in the main room? Do you know what I mean? And then when you've got John Neal just on before him as well, or something like that, it just kind of, to me, it's just, you know, like room 2s, they can get sort of like, people don't really, oh, why would we want to go in that dead little room? You know, it's banging in the main room kind of thing. So having like a little bit more of a reason to venture into the second room, I just think it's a good thing, and it's a good chance for like people to hear like up and comers, and then like I say, that, you know, they get the chance to do a set, you know, with somebody who's kind of like up there a little bit more, and, you know, more, you know, done quite a lot more at sort of like experienced things, if you like. So I just thought it was like I just thought it was a really cool thing, and I just thought like, yeah, you know, I like the idea. I like the whole way it works kind of thing, and I just thought, yeah, this is sick. This, do it by all means, you know. So yeah, if you are up and coming bounce DJ, get your um, get your name down on the Sanctuary post on Facebook, because you never know, you know. And even if like you don't, like, they might do it again, they might do like another event where, you know, you can do the same thing, like go back to back, that kind of thing. Oh, I have also just been reminded, I was just going to talk about grooving sounds, and then there was like literally something I needed to do, so I need to go and do that, and just check grooving sounds quickly on Facebook. So that's here it is. Right. So it's here we go. I was so hoping. And what I was hoping was right. So that's good. So I am going to touch up on grooving sounds in just a moment. I just literally need to... Yeah, I think this is where I might run into an issue. But I thought I did. Oh, that is a tune. Right, I'm going to have to browse. But I think... So essentially this Friday, the next batch of releases, they go out on the Grooving Sounds store. So 3 tracks go out. And one of the tracks that is due to go out, I don't think I actually downloaded the track. And I think the person who sent me it, like the person who's done the track, I think... This is the annoying thing. Here we are. No, it's all good. Don't worry. I thought he'd sent me the track WeTransfer. So if you don't know WeTransfer, essentially they expire. The links expire after a week, and the person who sent me the track, I think he's like moved house and everything since he sent me that track, and he's not like been active at the computer for a while, so he might not have been able to resend me it, like, you know, if it had been WeTransfer and the link had expired. Yes, there we go. So all I need to do now is I need to make like, I need to essentially make little shorter versions of the track. Let me just save. It's kind of annoying. Right. And then what was the other track? I need to get that one as well. Yeah, I do. Right, KMH. I'll do Fireworks first. So it's there. So I need to cut that and then take that to the beginning. This is so when they go on the website for sale, you can preview the track, but it doesn't play the full track. So it's like to stop people from trying to like rip them and get them for free. If you get me. That'd be a really cool way to end the little preview, wouldn't it? I ain't gonna lie, that's sick. Alright, that's cool. Right, so now I export that as fireworks sample. Very short, but it'll do just for like the website preview. And then I've got to do one for the Sweet Dreams, so that's next. So there we go. Right, let's. So we'll go from this one, I think. I think that one will do it splendidly. So export, Sweet Dreams sample. Again, this is just so when you're on the website and you're listening, like if you want to buy the track, you don't hear the whole thing, and then like people can't just essentially they can't rip it off. So, and I just realised what I've done. I've just saved it in the wrong place. Yep, I thought so. Thank you. So now I can put them onto the website, so that's all good. So what am I needing to do? Show me. Right. Grooving sounds. Go over to our website. Our website's been very slow. I'm wondering why, or what's causing it. Very bizarre. Doesn't want to work. I'm hoping this isn't an issue. Anyway, I'm going to sort this, so like, share, peace.